locked in. The question is, who now joins Alireza in the final?
That's the big one. And in this format, 10 plus 0, yes, Magnus Carlsen has been the big favorite regardless of who he plays. Even Hikaru Nakamura in their recent matchups taking those big wins. But Hikaru, what a beast he is when it comes to those time scrambles. It's anyone's match.
And already some early developments here, some early drama. Hikaru plays the double Queen's Gambit, where White's Gambit met by a Black Gambit, and we see a quick trade of pawns, the Black Queen, coming out to the center. This one has an interesting reputation. Hikaru frowning there, looking up to the sky, trying to recall what to play next, but he's made this line his own. Has Magnus Carlsen done his homework?
This is gotta be part of the prep here. Magnus, he's got that time, he's got that push as well, regardless of who he's playing against. And I think at this stage, he's so motivated. Team Falcons have already landed on that final stage, right? For Liquid, Magnus is the big hope right now. He's not only fighting for himself, it's not only for his own personal glory, but he's fighting for his club right now.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of prize money on offer for the club championship is huge. If Hikaru Nakamura were to win, guaranteeing Team Falcon's top spot because he would be playing against his teammate in the final, that is massive news for the club and massive news for Hikaru and Alireza, of course. That is just such a big part of the 8 weeks we spend here at the Esports World Cup. On the other hand, though, the mountain that he has to climb to get to that point is literally the largest immovable object in chess, and that, of course, is Magnus Carlsen. It's a liquid mountain. How do you climb a liquid mountain?
Right?
It's going to be difficult.
It's not possible.
You fly over it like a falcon.
Exactly.
My feet are just getting wet. I'm going nowhere. This is terrible.
You have to hope it washes away. And here we see Hikaru Nakamura with an interesting pose, covering his face. He's awaiting a big decision from Magnus Carlsen. The pawn has been captured. Does Magnus want a queenless middle game? Does he want to take back with his queen, or for a trade? Or more ambitiously, take back with the knight?
And you think that decides to keep the queens on the board? Well, Black could still force the trade if you'd like to, if Hikaru wants to, by pushing that e-pawn, e5, driving the knight away. Queen takes queen to follow. We're gonna find out about the mindset of these two players. Endgame approaching.
Great call there, Tanya. Forceful move from Hikaru Nakamura. He looks to the sky yet again. Often when he looks up like that, he's just trying to recall something he's seen before. And there we go, he blocks the most logical move with his bishop. We might see bishop trades, we might see queen trades, and quick liquidation of the opening here. Very interesting. It feels a bit cagey from both sides, like they don't want to take too much risk. Pure symmetry with the pawn structure, but maybe Magnus slightly the more optimistic of the two, since the white dark squared bishop has more potential than its counterpart. And we're seeing from both players at points insta moves, right? wanted to do. So struggling all round at the moment, and Magnus Carlsen starting to turn the screw.
Magnus is up a pawn, and he's the one who's putting the pressure. That pawn could not have been captured. White would have gone f4 in that position, gotten the rook into the game. You look at Hikaru, the shake of the head is back. That is not a happy Hikaru on the camera. He knows that he needs a miracle to survive against the world #1. Magnus, is he going to go all out? Will he get aggressive? He does it. F-pawn goes forward. The rook about to swoop in. He first attacks black rook on h4, and he's surprised. Did he just forget about the f4 pawn?
Magnus, I think, had pre-moved or almost pre-moved. He was ready to block a check by dropping his knight back, and he's lucky, Magnus, that this is still very good. The computer says +4 still, but I think he hallucinated. He thought the black rook was going to come one square further down, and he dropped his knight back to block this check. He saw the black rook moving. He assumed it was the check. That was the only move he was considering, but the knight block happened anyway, so he's forgotten about this pawn. But the black rook there is actually trapped.
Yeah, he's not taking it, is he? He's going into a bit of a thing. It is Hikaru Nakamura, and as much as he would like to take it, that is very, very few viable squares. This is awkward as heck for him right now. I don't know. What is going on?
And what a miss by Magnus there. He's still thinking about it. He sort of almost pre-moved this idea. He could have just gone in with the rook. That pretty much would have been match over, game over. Grabbed that pawn on b7, pushed his own pawns, but instead thinking that h4 square was actually the h3 square, giving a check to the white king. But Hikaru, he still can't grab the pawn on f4. It is still completely winning for Magnus, and I think he knows it.
If you're judging this game by the facial expressions of both players, they both seem disappointed with themselves right now, but for very, very different reasons. And it's rook g4 that ends up getting played.
Hikaru, his eyes were looking up. That's either at the clock or at the resign button. The white rook is coming in. The black rook takes that pawn anyway, but now white goes pawn hunting himself. 2 pawns to 0 on that left flank. They're going to stream forward now. And there's even some flashy tactics. Rook takes f7 is a check. Try and trade the rooks off. There we go. Magnus takes it. A knight fork incoming. It's going to be a knight endgame. We've seen a few before, but 3 versus 1 in terms of pawns. Hikaru is done.
Resignation, there we go. Magnus Carlsen wins game unbelievable semi-final. The top 2 players in the world battling it out. We do have a decisive result in game 1. And what an interesting